Hey Wolfpack, and welcome back. I hope you have enjoyed your weekend. Tonight, we're back with I'm the Only One in My Family Who Isn't a Cannibal Part 2. So with that said, whether you're sitting around a campfire, on the night shift, or even laying in bed, let my voice soothe your nightmares. First off, I'd like to say that I plan to tell Alex, Miss Cora, and Celia every single plan you guys have had. They do have cameras in their cells, but they are very low quality. I'm going to write the plans on one or more of their paper plates before I put food on it. From the camera's view, it will just look as if it is leftover residue, or bits on the plate rather than handwriting. We usually burn garbage on Saturdays, which is the next day I'm going down there. I'll volunteer to burn the garbage after I get done with them, and then I'll just burn the plates. Hopefully, my family won't notice anything suspicious. You would think they would have put a better camera in there by now, but my parents are cheapskates. Also, let me tell you guys a little more backstory about my family. My parents are named Lisa and Mack. My mom used to be a nurse before she met my father. My father has always been a farmer, and says it runs in the family. He's been hinting that he wants Elijah and I to take over the family business for a while now. He says it's because Elijah is the most passionate about it, and I have the most brains out of my siblings. I know that means I'm the smartest, but he still could have worded it better considering I've seen him eat a human brain before. I have 4 other siblings besides Elijah. Lori is the oldest at 20, and she has 4 kids. The toddler twins named Vet and Chet, Monica, 7, and Chase, 9. Vet is a girl and Chet is a boy, and I have absolutely no idea where Monica and Chase are. I haven't seen them in a while, and I'm afraid to ask where they are. Their father is in the picture, but not how you would think. I'll get to that later if you guys are interested, because it doesn't matter a whole lot now. After Lori is John 19, then Elijah 18, then me, then Clara 15, and then Randy 11. Elizabeth, my sister who died, and John were twins. Elizabeth had the same views as me, but she wasn't as radical with it as I am. All my other siblings are cannibals just like my parents. I saw a comment about me being the black sheep in my family, and I honestly think I'm the textbook definition of a black sheep at this point. My mother told me they started each of us children out on flesh whenever we were babies, but she said I always spit it out. I have a feeling Elizabeth was the same way, but I've never been able to find out for sure because they act like she never even existed. We all share bedrooms because our house is so small. It's very old and creaky because it's been in the family so long. So, we usually get woken up by someone just simply going to the bathroom at night. It also causes our dogs to freak out over a possible intruder, even though barely no one ever comes to our house. Unless they haven't heard about us before, people tend to avoid us. The local cops are pretty much afraid of us and view us as taboo. Everyone in town pretty much does. I've tried to call them before when I was little, but whenever they actually showed up, my parents just lied and said I was just playing with the phone and did it by accident. They just overall don't trust us because of all the wild rumors we've had placed upon us over the years. Stuff like we're witches and wizards who do black magic. We're lizard aliens from another planet. That's the most recent one I've heard from Lori. We're immortal and all sorts of crazy other rumors. The cops would rather just not deal with us. They are scared too, and they are scared to face the judgment of the surrounding community we live in. A lot of you have also asked how I have access to the internet if I'm not allowed to speak to outsiders. I would tell you if I wasn't afraid for my outside connection's safety. They already risked a lot to get me this phone. I'm not going to say how they got it, but it's a very cracked hand-me-down. The screen is so shattered, I've just cut my finger many times while typing. The camera is also cracked, so I can't take pictures either. If I have to mention the outside connection at any point while writing, I will call them Eagle. Eagle, if you're reading this, I'm extra grateful to you. Our story would not be known at all if it wasn't for you, and I would not be getting help for the people I love. Now that I've cleared a few things up, I'm going to continue with what happened after I left the cells. Today's Thursday, and I won't be able to see them again until Saturday. I walk through the back door into the kitchen and am greeted by my dad.
Ah, Angelica, sweetie. I'm so proud of you for finally facing your fears with the pigs.
He spreads his arms wide, signaling me to come hug him, and I sheepishly listen.
Maybe one day it'll be you and Elijah running the farm. Wouldn't you like that?
He grins at me, waiting for an answer. But luckily Chet runs through the kitchen and distracts him. I quickly run upstairs to my room as he starts baby talking that little toddler. I fall back into my bed and let out a long sigh. Visiting them always ends up making me sad, but Alex and Miss Cora were the closest thing I had to real family on the farm. I wasn't too fond of Celia yet, but no one deserves what my father planned on doing to them, whatever that horror may be. I began to cry softly while memories of my sister drifted back to me. I was crying for quite a while, and at some point, I must have fallen asleep, because the next thing I know, my brother is banging on the door to tell me it's dinner time. I slid off the bed and looked at my face in the mirror above my dresser. They would wonder why my eyes were so puffy. I guess I could lie and say it was allergies. I slowly shuffle down the stairs and into the dining room as my mother is setting a pot of spaghetti on the table. I sit down in my chair and try to tune in on the conversation Elijah is having with Dad.
I think that one day you could truly be a good man on the farm, Elijah,
my dad says as my brother eats up the compliments. I roll my eyes and look past them at the two high chairs set up in front of the kitchen counter. In one of the high chairs sits Chet. He picks up his fork and pretends it's an airplane. His twin sister, Vet, starts clapping her hands and making train noises. My mom isn't the best homeschool teacher. Everyone starts plating their food, and as I'm about to as well, my mom stops me. Angie. I made you your own separate bowl. She scrunches up her nose as she says this and points toward the counter where a lone bowl sits. I know you're picky. It's cow meat. My youngest brother, Randy, scoffs, but he stops and apologizes when Dad glares at him. Angelica will come around. She just needs to stop spending so much time in the cells. He pinches my cheek as I sit down with my bowl of normal spaghetti. I push their bowl of spaghetti closer towards my mom across the table, and she rolls her eyes in response. Okay guys, eat up. Whatever we don't eat is going to the pigs, says my mom, as she picks up a bite of her food with her fork. After dinner, I head back up to my shared room and start on a new book I've been meaning to read. I'm about 30 pages in when Elijah knocks on my door. Instead of waiting on me to say he can open the door, he does it as soon as he's finished knocking. I put my book down and glare at him for interrupting me. What do you want, Elijah? I thought you were helping Lori bathe the babies. Mom said she'd help her. She told me to come see what you're doing. He walks slowly inside of the room while he scans everything like he's looking for something. He sits down beside me on the bed, and I glare even harder at him. Y'all's room is so boring. All you ever do is read and worry about those stupid people. His comment makes me incredibly angry, and I sit up in bed so fast that I knock my book to the floor. The hardcover smacks against the floor, causing one of the babies to start crying in the bathroom next door. They're not stupid, Elijah. They're human beings, just like you and me. How would you feel if someone bit a chunk out of your leg? I would take it as a compliment because that means I'm tasty, he says with an unnerving grin on his face. I roll my eyes at him and reach down to pick up my book. I jerk back up as I feel his fingertips glide up my thigh and stop just halfway to my crotch. I swat his hand away and try to push him off my bed, but he grabs my arms and pins them down. What are you doing? I yell as I squirm to get free and even try to bite him. Then he pins one of my arms with his knees and uses his now free hand to cover my mouth with a pillow. Dad wants us to take over the farm someday. I don't get why he wants you to help me run it, but you know what we have to do. Why not get a head start on it? He smirks at me and starts to lean towards my neck. Before he can do anything, I knee him in the groin and roll him off of me. He lands with a loud thud, which causes both of the babies to scream bloody murder. Our oldest sister Lori runs into the room, eyes like a deer in headlights. What the hell are you two doing? You keep scaring Chet and Vet. She notices Elijah on the floor, close to tears, and pokes him with her feet. What's wrong with you, you big baby? I lie on my back, feeling completely dizzy with the overwhelming fact that I'm nothing like the average teenage girl in the book I'm reading. Her only problem is her best friend becoming popular and leaving her. Mine? Well, you just read what almost happened. Will both of you just get out now? Lori looks at me like I just killed both of the twins while I grab another hardback book off my nightstand and launch it at Elijah's stomach. Elijah scowls at me, then gets up quickly and scurries out of my room, Lori retreating behind him. I grab both the books off the floor and place them on my nightstand. After closing the door, I climb under the covers, pull out my flip phone, and fall asleep staring at the picture of Elijah, and I with tears running down my face. I swear on my life that I will set them free, because I know she would have wanted me to. I'll let you guys know what happens whenever I can. Thanks for watching, Wolfpack. If you want to catch me by the fire next time, I upload every weekend including Friday. Don't forget to like the video as it helps me out more than you know. If you want to submit your story, head down to the description. Now, here's Roken to howl you off to sleep. Have beautiful nightmares.